Alright guys, so in this video I am going to show you how to make a basic ballyhoo rig using wire. In this example I am using Malin number 5, which is 43-pound rating. I got about 7 feet with the goal of having a total of a 5-foot length rig. The hook that I'm using is going to be an Owner 5192 7/0. So first thing you do is put it through the hook, and you're going to tie a haywire twist. You can use pliers like I'm doing here, you can use a haywire twist tool, or you can use your hand, whatever your preference is. Key thing is to do a haywire twist. And very important, once you finish doing your twist and your barrel wraps, leave the end of the barrel wrap sticking out. And you're about to see why. What you're doing is you're creating the pin that you're actually going to put through the ballyhoo. As you can see there. And I want it lined up to where the pin is going to be pointed upward once the hook is inserted into the ballyhoo. This is actually what's going to hold the ballyhoo in place. You want to leave about a 1/2 inch piece of wire sticking out. And you can just simply trim it off using some pliers or dikes. I prefer to use pliers instead of bending it back and forth to break it off. It's much easier for this purpose. And you're going to go to your opposite end. Again, what I'm trying to accomplish is about a 5-foot rig. So if I cut a 7-foot piece off, it will allow me some excess. And in this example, I'm going to use a bait spring to connect the ballyhoo, or to secure the ballyhoo after I put the pin in. You can use other methods that I've discussed in other videos, such as rubber bands or rigging wire. And then on the end, you're going to tie another haywire twist. There's several ways of doing this. The way I like to do it, and again, this is just my opinion. Everyone can do it their way. This is just the way I do it, guys. I'm not out to argue with anybody. I'm not out to have a contest about which is better. This is just the way I do it. But I like to take 3 twists and finish it off with several barrel wraps. And if you like, comment below. I can do a video just on tying a haywire twist. It's one of the most important connections that I think you should learn if you're going to be offshore fishing. And on this particular end, we aren't going to be connecting any kind of bait to it, so you just go back and forth as you see, and it's going to break off the edge. It should come right off like you see there. And then that you're going to connect to your snap swivel, or your barrel swivel rather, on the end of your main line, or at the end of your top shot, depending on how you have your setup. Now, one of the benefits of this particular rig using wire versus mono is that you can slide the end, if you're careful, just by squeezing it right through an islander lure or a billy bait, and you don't have to actually put the lure that you're gonna place on top of the ballyhoo to the rig. You can do it after the fact, unlike when you use mono or fluorocarbon. So that's it, guys. That's how I do a ballyhoo rig using wire. Again, this is 43-pound number 5 Malin wire. You can use, I like to use between number 7 being the highest, number 5 being the lowest. Okay, guys, let's do another one just so everybody's clear on what we're doing. So 7/0 hook. There's several hooks out there that you guys can use. It doesn't have to be this one. It can be stainless, can be regular steel, galvanized, just as long as it's strong. All right, haywire twist. You're going to do about 3 haywires. It doesn't have to be perfect, guys. And you're going to finish it off with 5 barrel wraps. And instead of breaking it off like you would on a normal haywire twist, you're going to leave this one sticking out. You're going to leave about 1/2 inch. Could be more, it could be less. Again, the whole purpose of this pin is to go underneath the jaw, both upper and lower jaw of the ballyhoo, and then you're gonna take wraps with either rigging wire or a bait spring or a rubber band to secure the ballyhoo in place. You don't want the ballyhoo holding on with the hook. You want it holding on with the pin. And that is what we have just created. That's why it's called the pin rig. In this particular example, I am going to stick a bait rig. That's what I like, a bait spring. That's what I like to use. I just keep it all together. That way I don't have to be looking for a rubber band. It's easier to me than using rigging wire, but again, it's personal preference. And then on the end here, we're going to do another haywire twist. Again, 3 twists, finished off by 5 barrel wraps. Doesn't have to be exactly that same amount. Never had an issue with it. Doesn't have to be pretty. There is a purpose to the barrels being behind the twist. Avoids it from cinching down on itself. On this particular end, you are going to break off the excess, so you have a nice clean finish. You don't have a burr, and that's it. That's the end of it. Again, this particular end, you can bend or squeeze in the end to go through a Islander, a billy bait, or a soft head, whatever bait you want to use, skirt. You can squeeze it in without having to break the end of the rig itself. Most of your pre-rigged ballyhoo that comes frozen is going to be wire, so don't panic. You're able to slide an Islander right on top of it. All right, guys, that's it. Let me know if you have any questions.